All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is one thing that I've covered in the past, but it's just really worth repeating, okay? So I had a client that contacted me, and I hadn't seen her, probably in about 3 years. But they contacted me today because she actually just delivered their child earlier today. Well, they just brought the child home for the first time today. And their dog that I had trained several years ago had a lot of energy and knew its training, but they were really worried about how their dog was going to interact with their child. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. When it comes to your dog, bringing home a child or bringing home anybody for that fact, and trying to teach your dog how to be calm around them, it really is about the day in and day out calming activities that you're doing. If you come home and everything is a big party every single time that you come home, then when you bring somebody else to your house, it's going to be that same party. But if you have a routine that your dog actually has to become calm whenever you get home, then it's much more easy for you to be able to calm your dog in those situations. But let me just give some techniques to everybody that are very, very useful, and some things that you shouldn't do. So one, if you're trying to calm your dog, the first thing that you want to do is not use excessive voice commands. And really what I mean, like if you train your dog to go to its bed or to sit, you really shouldn't be repeating those a multitude of times. One thing that I tell people is if the dog isn't looking at you directly, then you shouldn't be talking. So we really only should be talking to our dogs when we truly have their attention. Yes, there are exceptions to that, but I don't like to give a voice command to a dog that doesn't know that I'm actually talking to them. So one, if your dog is looking away from you in every single direction, then it's a good idea. Yeah, and hey Betty, I am going to get to that. I've got that's on my list right here. So definitely then you don't want to be, anyway, I lost my train of thought a little bit. But here's the thing, okay? You want to come home and you want to teach the dog how to be calm using your leash, maybe even using your remote collar, and showing the dog that we expect you to become calm whenever I come into the house is really such an important thing for you to do with the dog, okay? But building excitement. Now, when it comes to meeting with, having your child meet with a baby, if your dog is calm, then you can ask your dog with this leash on to come over. And if you're holding your child in your hand, then, you can pet the dog and ask it to sit, but you want to pet the dog very slowly as you're holding your child in its hand. But if your dog is accustomed to jumping on you each and every time, then I would really back up my training, teach the dog how to be calm, how to calmly come off of its place or its bed, and then begin to make the introduction to the child. It's very normal for a dog to be very curious about children, okay? And they're generally not dangerous toward their children in a way that they would try to, bite them or something like that. But jumping is a real problem, and so I think that teaching the dog to be calm and teaching it how to calmly come off of its bed and using a leash is really going to help you with that, is going to go a long way. So those are some tips that you can use if you're bringing a child home, but I would definitely start training a few weeks before.